Hello, good evening. Welcome to News Hour, coming to you from Broadcasting House here in Accra. My name is Gifty Ejim.
I am Shirley Anan.
Now the headlines. Nigeria devaluates its currency to end fixed exchange rate system.
Herbal medicine is more potent in curing prostate cancer than orthodox medicine. This according to some Ghanaian research scientists.
In other news, bad roads in part of Tema affect transportation.
And on the foreign front, media shut down in the Democratic Republic of Congo to protest a hike in internet prices.
Now the stories show.
The Nigerian naira is down by 40% after the Buhari administration allowed the currency to float, marking an end to the central bank's much criticized fixed exchange rate system. The naira has been pegged at 197 to the US dollar for the past 60 months, but the currency trades at around 350 on the parallel market as the slumping oil revenues hammered public finances and foreign currency reserves. For months, foreign investors and economists called for a devaluation of the naira as chronic foreign currency shortages choked economic growth and led to widespread capital flights.
Africa's biggest economy contracted by 0.4% in the first quarter and is facing its worst crisis in decades in the wake of the decline in oil prices and the introduction of a currency peg. With a sharp fall for the naira, Nigerian products will become relatively cheap and imports more expensive, which should stimulate the domestic economy and lift inflation. President Buhari has previously raised concerns about the inflationary impact that a weaker currency will have on the country's poor. Nigeria, Africa's biggest crude exporter, has resisted devaluing its currency for more than a year. Major oil producers including Russia, Kazakhstan and Angola have allowed their currencies to fall following the collapse of crude oil prices. And away from that story, roads in parts of Tema, especially communities 2 and 5, as well as Lashibi, are in bad condition following the rains. Tema is home to Ghana's leading harbour and leading industrial hub. The GBC24 news team in the harbour city has been round the township and has this report on the state of the road and its effect on business and social activities.
The vision of Ghana's first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was to make Tema the fulcrum of Ghana's industrial revolution. To actualize this vision, Tema was designed into industrial, commercial and residential zones with good roads. The roads were laid to make movement of goods and people faster. The well-planned harbour city was a place every Ghanaian wanted to live in. Over the years, more and more people have moved to Tema, and the once beautiful city is losing its shine. One major infrastructure that is reeling under pressure is the roads. The asphalted roads around Community 1 are still intact, but the ones with bitumen surfacing in other areas such as Community 2 and 5 are just bad, full of potholes. The situation at the polyclinic area in Community 2 slows down traffic. The road connecting Community 2 to Community 3 is also in a deplorable state, riddled with potholes. Taxi drivers who usually ply this road say they have to visit the mechanics every week because of the bad nature of the roads.
Within 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, I have to visit the shop to maintain my vehicle. It is worrying to see Tema roads in this bad state.
Last week
I just bought a ball joint and it has been damaged. We get our daily sales only to use it to buy spare parts.
The situation at Lashibi and Klagong is no different. So is the road that links the Nungwasa-Kumono route to Ashaiman through an underpass. This one was in a bad state for years, until recently when it was awarded on contract to Kofi Job Construction. Business owners along the road think the contractor is not being fast with the work. But this is what the contractor said.
We have completed the soft level up to this place. So only we will put the 040 and then the asphalt. So I think the major of the job we have done is 80%.
Residents accuse the Tema Municipal Assembly of having neglected the Tema West roads. Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive Mr. Isaac Ashai Odampton admitted that the roads are bad, but explained that the Assembly will be dealing with the situation in 6 weeks' time.
Within the next 6 weeks, we expect the contractor working on the Eastern Accra city or urban roads would have completed and then moved to Tema. And that is where we will see the application of the 20 kilometers of asphaltic overlay within Tema. And most of this will cover Community 2, Community 3, Community 5, and we intend to connect the Community 5, 6, 10, 11, 12 internal road to make it very, very solid.
Residents of Buem in the Jasikan district do not have access to safe drinking water and depend on a nearby river for their domestic chores, which exposes the community to waterborne diseases.
Buem is a farming community with about 3,000 residents. The community is located in the Jasikan district of the Volta region. Health and sanitation at Kutebuem and its surrounding communities worsens by the day. This is because access to safe drinking water is a major problem confronting residents here. This water facility, constructed by the UNHCR with assistance from the Italian government, has been out of use for more than 3 years. Currently, the only water facility working in the community is this mechanized borehole facility, which is expected to serve the over 3,000 residents in the community. GBC24 learned that by community water standards, a borehole should ideally serve a community of about 600. Most residents therefore depend on River Kute, which passes through the community, for their domestic chores. All forms of liquid waste find its way into the river, further polluting it. The residents are sometimes compelled to share the river with some birds who swim in the river. Some residents who spoke to GBC24 called for improved access to potable water.
This is the kind of water that we are drinking. There is so many germs inside, and it's giving us so many sickness. We are pleading to the government and the NGOs to come and help us.
This is the kind of water we use here for drinking, bathing, cooking, and from the look of things, you can bear witness with me that it's not that hygienic for good health.
Now, the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, says when voted into office, he will remove some of the taxes on electricity. Nana Akufo-Addo made the promise in an address at Cape Coast.
This is the 4th day of Nana Akufo-Addo's 5-day campaign tour to the central region. It was the turn of the Cape Coast North and South constituencies. Nana joined various congregations in the metropolis, including St. Peter Catholic Church at Pedu, Anglican Cathedral in Cape Coast, and Abra Methodist. The MPP flag bearer later went to Abra, a suburb of Cape Coast, where he was met by an enthusiastic crowd. Activities at the various places Nana visited, including in Kamfua Market, Abra came to a standstill. Addressing people in Kamfua, Nana mentioned that policies rolled out by the NDC administration is not helping the economy to grow as expected.
Over 2,000 dead, 100,000 people displaced. Yes, and now my last son was tired when I put on your picture. Go to walk here. And then I better crab it for now.
1
adwuma everywhere hɔ mmankyɛ de mama wa no ne adwuma yɛ wɔ Cote d'Ivoire a yɛnyɛ bi yɛ ɛwɔ ha ɛnam bɛnti a ɛnam nhyehyɛ pa a wɔtara ɛde abrɛ Cote d'Ivoire fo saa nhyehyɛ pa no ɛna mmɛno ne ɛmpapafoɔ ɛpɛ sɛ ɛbɛbrɛ Ghanafoɔ.
The spontaneous reaction became more visible when Nana Akufo-Addo and his team walked through town from Cape Coast Chapel Square to Ekon. Although there was no organized gathering, more supporters and sympathizers followed the convoy to where fishermen in the town met. The GBC TV license team has mounted a collection point at the SNIT head office, also known as Pension House in Accra. The team will pitch camp there for 10 days to make it easy for workers within the ministries to pay their TV license fees.
About the 20th location the team has visited since the awareness creation about television license fee and collection started.
I think it's good for everybody to pay because this is all about nation building and the amount is not so much. But I also encourage GTV to encourage more of us, the citizens, to be able to pay.
Paying 60 Ghana for 3 television sets at my home, I think it's a fair deal.
So far, the response has been encouraging.
We are here from today, Monday, 20th June 2016, up to Friday, 30th June 2016. All we need is your name, your house number, phone number, and the number of TV sets for domestic license. In relation to commercial, we need your company's requirement.
For those who are unable to pay at any of the designated points, they can text to the short code 718 hashtag for mobile payments to MTN, Tigo Cash and Air.
You're watching a news hour on GBC24 and GTV.
Hello again, my name is Marius Obeshte. A pleasure to come away with the latest from the world of business. Now, Toyota Ghana has launched a new generation Fortuner. The all-new Fortuner is step above. It's purposely made for the working class. It comes in 2 models, the manual and automatic. The prices range from $47,000 to $49,000.
Introduction, the Fortuner has earned admiration around the globe for its impressive quality, durability, reliability and all-terrain capability. The name Fortuner originates from the word fortunate. The name was chosen to symbolize a new type of SUV aimed at the working class and tailor-made for customers. In line with the company's principles to improve and focus on meeting the changing demands of customers, the new Fortuner has undergone complete model change. It has stylish interior and exterior features to meet global standards. The managing director of Toyota Ghana, Mr. Techuya Sumachu, was optimistic that the new Fortuner will satisfy its customers and also dominate the market.
The Fortuner has been made attractive with enhanced stylish interior-exterior feature and to meet global trend. Its suspension has also reinforced to improve the ride and comfort for the trains.
The chief executive of Association of Ghana Industries, Mr. Seth Chumakabwa, said the manufacturing sector needs vehicles that are robust, such as the new Fortuner, to work with. He also stressed the need for after-sales support.
As a strong promoter of made in Ghana products, I will always urge Toyota Ghana to also start looking at areas where we can also have further local content in whatever we do. For instance, are there some parts of the vehicle that we can explore and get local companies to produce, even if it will not be part of the new vehicle that has come, as the vehicles are wearing out and we are changing parts. And there's some of the parts that we can produce here. And I think that as we collaborate with other automobile industries or companies in the country, we should be able to achieve something like this in the course of time.
The sales and marketing manager of Toyota Ghana, Mr. Andrew Lamptey, spoke about the features of the new Fortuner.
The all-new Fortuner has been developed to be more stylish, more elegant. The vehicle has been designed to be able to maneuver whatever rough road condition that you find yourself. We can move you from one destination to the other in a smoothest comfortability.
This is the second time Toyota Ghana has released a new vehicle this year. The first was the 2016 model of a Toyota Hilux.
Now the price of tomatoes on the market has seen a huge increase. A crate full of tomatoes is up from the previous price of 200 Ghana cedis. Traders at the Malamata market attribute the increase to the late arrival of the rains.
This is Malamata Market in Accra. Madam Akusia has been selling fried yam for the past few years, and that is the business that helps her cater for herself and her family. One of the key ingredients in her line of business is tomato. But because tomatoes are in short supply now due to the onset of the rains, her profit margin has dropped. Akusia said a bowl of tomatoes, which used to sell at 10 cedis, is now going for 35 cedis. But despite this, she is able to make about 50 cedis profit a week as against 200 cedis at the beginning of the year.
If I reduce the prices, I would run at a loss, and I can't risk losing my customers, so I end up keeping up with the price.
Akusia is not the only food vendor facing this challenge. According to a Wache seller, Madina to Yusuf, the scarcity of the produce has made her increase the price of Wache she sells.
At first, when I price, since no one loan in say, they me 200 Ghana.
Because prices have gone up, it has affected my sales.
Purchasing no to me buy too much.
Kenke and banku are staple foods in Ghana and can hardly be enjoyed without tomato as an ingredient for the gravy. Monica does her banku and kenke business at Kanda, another suburb in Accra. She disclosed that a box of tomatoes that used to be sold between 400 cedis and 500 cedis is now twice the price, and this has also affected her a lot.
We mostly run at a loss because of the scarcity.
But another food vendor who sells rice, Mamiesi, said she sees no increase in the produce. Though the profit margin is not that great, she still manages to deliver to her customers.
The increase in prices has affected our profit margins.
In Ghana, tomatoes are mostly grown and cultivated in the Upper East, Ashanti and Bono-Ahafo regions, particularly in Navrongo, Ada, Winchi, Tiobodom and Akomadang. The vegetable in Ghana is used in making kontomire stew, light soup, tomato stew and jollof rice, just to mention a few. Joyce explains that tomatoes need water to survive, but if the rains fall heavily, it rather destroys the crop.
Due to the rains, we do not get quality tomatoes. It normally thrives well where there is more sunshine and less rains.
Miss Vida, who has been in the business for over 3 years, says she initially used to make a profit of 10 cedis but does not make anything at all.
We used to make profit, but now we get nothing at all.
Ernestina Yeboah, a consistent consumer of tomato, said that she now purchases a bucket of tomatoes as high as 30 cedis as against 10 cedis or less initially.
First, 5 cedis. Initially, I used to purchase 5 cedis worth of tomatoes, but now I buy more than 10 cedis.
According to researchers,
Tomato is considered as one of the healthiest foods as it contains about 33% of vitamin C, which helps in curing common cold and protects the body against immune system deficiencies and cardiovascular diseases.
Still Business Live on GBC24. Now, in an effort to speed up the national development process, Vice President Kwesi Arthur has asked Ghanaians studying abroad to return home upon completion of their courses to help build the Ghanaian economy. This call goes especially to those with rare skills and talents needed to build the country. Mr. Arthur was speaking during a meeting with the Ghanaian community in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Russia's beautiful tourist city of St. Petersburg is described as the Venice of Northern Europe due to its imposing ancient architecture, interlaced by numerous rivers and linked by bridges. At the heart of this is advanced knowledge in science and technology, which drives Russia, the producer of most of Europe's gas, coal and energy. Like citizens of other nations, many Ghanaians live here, majority being students seeking knowledge in various fields of study. This is largely because of the long-standing Russian government scholarship which Ghanaians still enjoy. Despite Vice President Mr. Arthur's tight schedule on the just-ended St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, he found time for Ghanaian nationals. Discussions centered on issues such as national development, the economy, Ghana's foreign policy, security, and preparations towards election 2016.
We're also increasing our entrepreneurial training, where people like you will come and set up areas that nobody has conceived of. Nobody knows until Bill Gates and so on started personal computers. Nobody knew they could create an industry. And there are many others that can develop from people like you who come and put their minds to solving a problem and creating a business. And we have many funding mechanisms to help people like that.
The students posed critical questions to the Vice President and his entourage. Some expressed concern about irresponsible attitudes of Ghanaians, such as indiscriminate littering and throwing of garbage in drains, which consequently choke gutters and flood the cities during rains.
People do not want to pay for get their rubbish collected and disposed of, so they throw it into the drain. And as we saw last week, when it was raining and the floods were coming, people just poured the thing away in order to take. So as that one, there's no way any government can continue to clean up, and people are blaming the government.
Some also expressed worry about government's diminishing interest in funding scholarships for students to travel abroad. Mr. Arthur said, although various sectors compete for attention, government has thought it prudent to rather invest more in expanding infrastructure, especially at the basic and secondary school levels, while attracting and encouraging girls to be in school through various incentives. This, he said, has yielded dividends in the form of more than 90% school enrollment rate in recent times.
Many people are getting educated because the government is spending a lot of money at the lower levels of education to ensure that people have a leg up. People can start off without getting an education. So I'm saying that while the state is reducing its control of the national budget, the state is also increasing its contribution, especially in education. All the initiatives, interventions that the government has in terms of the schools and the trees, in terms of the secondary schools that we are building, in terms of a number of state universities. We have one public university in every region of our country. Those are our resources.
On the issue of accessing biometric passports, Ghana's ambassador to Russia, Dr. Kojo Alabu, said the government of Ghana has rolled out a program where the country's missions across the world are zoned into geographically contiguous areas and have started issuing the passports. He pledged to inform his fellow nationals if it gets to the turn of Moscow. Trade and Industry Minister Mr. Ekospio Gabra allayed fears of students abroad who struggle with industrial internships back home, reiterating the Vice President's pledge to assist especially those with skills needed in science and technology sectors. Mr. and Mr. Arthur also donated some seed money for the Students' Welfare Fund. Some of the students and members of the Ghanaian community were honored for their services to the community and the nation at large. Mto Bibinimto, GBC24, St. Petersburg.
Interbank market where the pound sterling is selling at 5 cedis 57 pesos, the dollar at 3 cedis 90 pesos, and the euro at 4 cedis 39 pesos. And on the international commodities market, light crude appreciated by 78 cents to trade at $48.76 per barrel. Cocoa also gained $53 to trade at $3,159 per ton. However, gold lost $11.50 to sell at $1,281 an ounce. And in insurance news tonight, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority says the Tier 3 pension scheme instituted by the authority is safe and secure for all informal sector workers. At a forum in Ho, the Corporate Affairs Manager, Emmanuel Dagbenu, explained that the scheme is not similar to the private savings and loan schemes being operated under the supervision of the Bank of Ghana.
The National Pension Act, Act 766 of 2008, established the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, NPRA, to replace the Social Security Cap 30 and related schemes. The authority has been mandated to regulate and monitor the operations of the new scheme and ensure the effective administration of all pensions in the country. The new 3-tier pension scheme comprises 2 mandatory schemes and a voluntary one. These are the Mandatory Basic National Security Scheme, which is an improved system of SNIT benefits for all employees in both the public and private sectors. The second tier is the Occupational Mandatory Pension Scheme for all formal sector employees but privately managed, whilst the third tier is a Voluntary Provident Fund and pension schemes supported by tax incentives meant for the informal sector workers. Available statistics indicate that the informal sector constitutes about 85% of workers in the country's economy. These include farmers, fishermen, market artisans, drivers, and other self-employed persons. The forum is part of a nationwide awareness drive by the authority to get more people hooked onto the scheme. The Corporate Affairs Manager of the National Pension Regulatory Authority, Emmanuel Dagbenu, said the new pension scheme will help improve the living standards of the elderly and also ensure financial independence of retirees. An international consultant on the scheme, Russell Gallo, said adequate savings require a personal financial discipline to ensure a regular contribution to the scheme. He therefore urged informal workers to join the scheme to ensure financial security during their retirements. The Volta Regional Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, Elvis Van Leer, encouraged the public to invest in their retirement ages.
And that was insurance news brought to you by SIC Live. News are continuing.
Well, studies by a team of Ghanaian researchers have shown the potency of medicinal plants in the treatment of prostate enlargement in men. The researchers are Major Retired Professor George Iwuku Asari, a lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Alfred Ampoma Apia, Deputy Director at the Center for Research into Plant Medicine, and the Chief Executive of Medimosis, Dr. Digol Moses Dubache. The results mean men with prostate enlargement problems need not resort to surgical operation as treatment for prostate enlargement.
Herbal medicine is an ancient medical system that has provided the world with safe, effective and affordable medicines for at least some 60,000 years, and even today the populations of developing countries continue to rely heavily on plant medicines for their healthcare needs. The World Health Organization estimates that 80% of Africans use traditional medicines. In Ghana, over half of children with malaria are first treated with herbs. In 1975, the Center for Scientific Research into Plant Medicine was established at Mampo Ikwiapim to conduct and promote research for the improvement of plant medicines. The institution, which is also an agency of the World Health Organization, has developed 35 well-researched plant-based products. An enlarged prostate, on the other hand, means the gland has grown bigger. An enlarged prostate is often called benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH for short. It is common for the prostate gland to become enlarged as a man ages. The actual cause of prostate enlargement is unknown. However, factors linked to aging and changes in the cells of the testicles might have a role in the growth of the gland. As the gland grows, it can press on the urethra and cause urination and bladder problems. A researcher in herbal medicine and senior lecturer at the College of Health Sciences of the University of Ghana, Major Retired Professor George Iwuku Asari, spoke about the research into the herbal plant known as Croton membranacea, which has the potency to shrink the enlarged prostate to its normal size.
The first thing we need to look at is whether the plant is toxic. Croton membranaceous has been used for decades for the treatment of prostate diseases, particularly the benign prostatic hyperplasia. And in our research, we observed that the croton, among all the body organs that one would find, the only one that we discovered histologically that changes had taken place was the prostate. We examined the heart, we did not find changes. The kidney did not show changes. The liver too did not show changes. It's only the prostate that we saw that the prostate had reduced in size.
He also indicated that even though some of the medicinal plants are good, it must be investigated scientifically before it is put to the public.
What was being done in the 15th century cannot be done in the 21st century. We cannot continue to just go into the bush, tear medicinal plants, 5 leaves, into a cup of water, boil for a while, and then afterwards drink it. No. Science has moved from there, and the use of medicinal plants has also moved from there.
The chief executive of Medimosis, Dr. Digol Moses Dubache, who has also researched into plant-based products, says prostate enlargement can be cured within a short period using 100% pure natural herbs with guaranteed results.
It's special formulated from 100% herbs to improve these symptoms that I've just mentioned, and we've done research to find out that the size of the prostate, no matter how big it is, starts shrinking massively, getting back to normal. Professor Bakat was saying that in Germany they've produced medicines for more than 400 years and they've never seen this drug work wonders. It's like magic. No surgery, shrink it back to normal safely, no side effects.
He urged men who have problems with prostate to visit the hospital early to avoid the prostate becoming a cancer.
When they become cancerous, they don't longer obey the body's instructions. It's going to start multiplying from where it is, and it will not stop from the prostate area. It will not stop, enter the pelvis. It will not stop. It start moving to the bones. Then it move into your liver, move into your lungs, get into your brain. So that's what we call cancer. So it's dangerous. And you need to come to the hospital if you notice any of these signs, so that we check, we do what we call biopsy to find out whether it is cancer or not.
The Deputy Director of the Center for Research into Plant Medicine, Dr. Alfred Mpoma Apia, said government stands to benefit if it invests in herbal plants, especially Croton membranacea.
I have mentioned this Croton, and like I said, we cannot, even at 100 Ghana cedis per kilo, we cannot get to buy. And the disease condition that we used to treat, it doesn't affect only Ghanaians, it affects a lot of people across the globe. If you have something that can resolve it, it is quite simple. And this plant does the job. We can produce it in large quantity, produce for our own people in Ghana, export to other areas. That can also give us a lot of money.
In Ghana, efforts to promote traditional medicine practice started with the creation of the Ghana Psychic and Traditional Healers Association in 1961. The association aims at upholding, promoting and protecting the best in psychic and traditional healing in Ghana.
Let's update our source from happenings in the world of sports. I'm Theophilus Samba. Accra Sofo have fired their Japanese coach Kenichi Yatsuhashi. The tactician was officially informed of the decision on Monday after a board meeting. His sacking comes after just 6 months in charge of the Phobians. He has been credited with the revival of the fortunes of the Giants in Accra. Hearts are fourth on the league table after the first round league season with 7 wins, 5 draws and 3 defeats. The sports desk will bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. Widiba Bees Women's Football Club Soccer Intellectuals kick off the second round of the National Women's League with a bang. They beat Immigration Ladies for the first time at the Awak Sports Stadium by 2-1. The win lifted Soccer Intellectuals to the summit of the league table with 18 points. The National Women's Football League resumed after a 2-week break. At the Awak Sports Stadium, Immigration Ladies in the green jersey welcomed Soccer Intellectuals. The action-packed encounter saw the home side Immigration probing for goals. Their efforts paid off in the 20th minute. Patience now scored for Immigration. Soccer Intellectuals regrouped after the second half. They pushed for the equalizer. In the 56th minute, Sarah Boni profited from a mistake from Immigration's goalkeeper. Intellectuals piled pressure and under just 5 minutes had a free kick. Linda Dai connected perfectly for Intellectuals' second goal. Immigration found it difficult to cope with the speed of the Intellectual lads. Referee Christine Ziga then brought proceedings to an end. The winners moved Soccer Intellectuals to the summit of the Southern Zone League log. Here are some reactions from the coaches and players.
Last year we were first getting to the end, we lost to Azalkes. And we've been second. Now I promised and I was telling people that second round we'll jump into the lead. And truly, my guess, they've done it.
They've never scored us before. They did their first win and we least expected it. Not for the fact that we've been beating them all the time or we do but looking at the way we prepared toward this match and the way we approach it. In fact, we are short of us.
Our coach inspired us and they also motivated us. Also, a spirit came up and the girls too, we spoke to ourselves. We told ourselves that no, you shouldn't let it go, we can do it. So we're always thinking positive, so definitely our next game is going to be positive for us. We win. We win some year here in Accra.
Soccer intellectuals will next play Samurai Ladies at the ATTC Park, whilst immigration travel to Cape Coast to face Lady Strikers. Updates on results in other matches played, and we go straight to the Southern Zone where Police Ladies won, Hazakers Ladies 1, Lady Strikers 3, Samurai Ladies 2, Bafana Ladies 1, Halifax 0, Immigration 1, Soccer Intellectuals 2. For the Northern Zone, Subaya Golden Ladies 0, Fabulous Ladies 4, Ampem Dakwa 2, Prisons Ladies 0, Ashtown Ladies 2, Lepo Ladies 0, and Northern Ladies 3, Real Upper Ladies 0. That's all for sports.
Good evening. Time for some arts news. My name is Valerie Danso. Cornfields in Accra borrows its title from a parenthesis on Ghanaian writer Ama Ata Adi's poem. The exhibition honors the memory of the late Goodilay, a Cameroonian conceptual artist whose inventions were very influential to the development of media, art, film, installations, and community-oriented work.
Focusing on the works of artists in this part, Vabani Fiachi, known as the craziest artist, confronts prejudices and stereotypes inculcated by social, sexual and religious norms dealing with political brutalities of our global present and past. Livingston Amwakun reminiscences on a time in his village when snails were abundant and have disappeared with the gradual depletion of the forest. Lulu Atanli's concept starts with a sense of autonomy. By locally assembling machines, he is able to make technology that can multiply itself and the business becomes independent. Samria Abdullahi Muru's work cast in recent dry and smoked fish, which are present in many Ghanaian staple foods. The labor-intensive work is driven by an interest in the interface between what is real and what is not fish. The work of Yawasari Bediakun displays little kiosks found all over Ghanaian cities, which has become significant object within its nascent practice. GBC24's arts and entertainment team spoke with some of the artists.
The total inspiration from this work is how this camera invade my personal space, how people want to know what's happening in my private space just because of a prejudice, just because of an appearance, just because of stereotype. And those things have made us very vulnerable to all forms of violences and all forms of public gaze.
I'm being inspired by a lot of things. I was working under people who have done this over and over, with the lives of Pom, Jeremiah, and then from the Western world, Terry Rogers, and then Zemeski, a whole lot. And then it doesn't take me much days. Like 2 to 3 weeks, I have to be done.
The exhibition, which is open to the public at the Museum of Science and Technology in Accra, will come to an end on the 13th of August.
For a person who has been widely applauded for his attempts at reviving theatre in Ghana, it comes as a surprise that Mr. James Eberwhite had no intention of becoming a playwright. In the art segments today, the spotlight is on Eberwhite.
Eberwhite is a marketer by profession, and Klebo started his theatrical journey when he joined a drama troupe called Youth for Christ. He started writing and producing plays in 1975.
Maestro! Maestro, how can you be asleep just moments ago? You wanted to get up and speak. Get up!
Hey! Fatal, cover the defense! Hey, you guys!
Some of his plays are The Trial, Widow's Confession, Devil's Wife, Wedding Behind Closed Doors, Unhappy Wives and Confused Husbands.
Is there something wrong? Bishop, look at my bruise. Bishop, look at my shoe, Bishop. Bishop, you look. Bishop, look at my...
He started school at the South Centreso SDA Primary, South La Middle School and Osu Presby Secondary School for his O-levels. He was a school prefect. He wrote his A-levels as a private candidate before entering the University of Ghana, where he read statistics. Anklebo was one time the general manager for Kena Pharma and the head of finance and marketing at Asempa Publishers. His recent plays include Bananas and Groundnuts, Unforgiven, and Dear God, Comma.
Thank you for the well, so sweet. Thank you for the food we eat.
The news are GBC24 and GTV News tonight is at 9:30. Keep watching.
Good evening.